My best friend slept with my crush. This feels like very high school, you know? But looking at the ages, it's very much not high school at all. Okay, this story came August 20th, 2021. My 23 female, BFF 23 female, slept with my crush 28 male. I am pissed. For the background, I have known my best friend Vicky for 7 years. We are very close and we could always rely on each other. On the other side is my friend of 2 years, Chris, 28 male. The thing is, I have a huge crush on him, but unfortunately, it looks like he friend-zoned me. Like, he told me a few times I am crazy attractive and all, but at the same time, he turned down all my flirting attempts. Until yesterday, they never met each other, or so I thought, but I have often spoken about one another. About 6 months ago, Vicky told me that she met a guy in the club and they had such great chemistry that they went to her place and slept together. Supposedly, it was the best she's ever had in her life. But the guy was out in the morning when she woke up and she didn't have his phone number nor any social media information. I believe you already know where I'm going with that. Duh, it was him.
Well, obviously.
Yesterday, I was making an early birthday party for my friends and I invited people from my different circle of friends. So yeah, he was on time and she came half an hour later. I went to greet her. She immediately noticed him from the hall and was very surprised. As we were alone, she told me that he was the guy from half a year ago. I was blown away and I was only able to stutter that he is my crush. The next dozens of minutes were awkward for them. They said hi and then it looked like she avoided him a little. At this point, I somehow already regretted that they met at my party. She took me to the side and told me that she had no idea about who he was and that she would leave him alone. For the next few hours, all people were having a good time, but I felt a little down. I noticed that they started to talk to each other and drink and dance. Later that night, we all went to an outdoor event close to my place. After midnight, I was quite wasted. Usually, I do not drink much, but yesterday I could not stop myself. I somehow had this plan concocted in my drunk mind that I will ask Chris to escort me back home. I wanted to split them up as he was spending more and more time with Vicky, but it somehow did not work out well for me. I didn't even have a chance to ask him as two of my other friends quite literally dragged me out and we went home. And I do not remember that part very well either way. When I awoke today with a huge hangover, I could not think about anything else other than Chris and Vicky. I've invited all the people from the party to my place for coffee and wine and beer. At the same time, I was talking with 3 people that I remember were there mostly until the end of the night. My friend told me that Chris and Vicky were making out at the end. Ooh. And that they left the party together. Some people came, but Vicky and Chris arrived at my place at the same time. I was trying to act normal and not make a scene, but I was boiling inside. It was obvious that they had slept together. He was fond of her, but she again tried to avoid both me and him. I suppose that at least she didn't tell him my secret. An hour later, this after party had ended, and since then, Vicky was avoiding my messages. 2 hours ago, she sent me a message asking to meet tomorrow, and she just wrote that she is sorry. Right now, I cannot think straight. I'm trying to justify that me and Chris are just friends. We are not a couple or anything. I could not claim him. But at the same time, I'm furious about making this stupid party where they found each other again. To be honest, Chris has had a dozen relationships in the past 2 years that we've known each other, and probably more one-night stands or something similar. He is quite a ladies' man, and I always get jealous. But for some reason, I could not stand him being with Vicky even more. I'm excited to see what the comments of Reddit are going to say, because they're not going to hold back. I also want to hear from you in the comments. I was expecting this to be like high school. When they said crush, I was like, oh, high school. No. You can have a crush past high school. It's okay. Someone commented and said, I can just tell that they're going to be harsh. He isn't interested in you, so you should try to move on from the idea of being involved with him. It also seems strange that your supposed best friend really didn't care how this would make you feel. You should take a step back from them both and maybe hold off on the drinking for a bit. That said, your behavior when getting drunk sounded manipulative. Don't act like this again. Just another reason to stay sober, as it will make moving on harder and it will make you look bad because it's unstable. You shouldn't be getting yourself drunk and plotting to get the guy to take you home, even if it's yours, so to speak. Regardless, this situation is clearly bringing you down to a lower level than I'd imagine you'd want to be at. Keep your distance and focus on other things. OP wrote back to that and said, I am not getting drunk that often. I still do not know what happened to me, and I know this plan to split them up was really stupid. I've never acted that way. I suppose my emotions screwed me over big time. And the alcohol, when you're like an emotional and you're angry and you had a bunch of alcohol of that, it heightens it. It almost makes you lose sense of, I mean, that's the point of being drunk, is it not? Almost to like lose sense of reality a little bit. Things seem so different when you're like wasted. Everything seems like a good idea at the time. Do you guys remember like if you ever partied when, you know, you were younger and like you just wanted to like go on an adventure at the end of the night? Oh, maybe that was just me. I was annoying.
I am not drunk.
But also thinking back to all the drama and fights that went on in my early 20s, like when we were all drinking, like the drunken fights. The next day we're like, that was so dumb. But when you're drunk, it's like, this is everything. Like, this is so important. This is crazy. It's ridiculous. Anyways, enough about me drunk in my 20s. Next comment. It's understandable to be jealous, but Chris was very clearly never into you. Additionally, he and Vicky met and clearly connected long before she knew you had a crush on him. If they like each other, why should they not get together? You need to learn to move on when guys show you that they are not interested. You don't call dibs on a guy who doesn't want to be with you. OP said, you are absolutely right. Moving on might be hard as I really like to spend time with him, even as my friend, but I will have to figure this out. Next comment. I know you said she didn't have social media info after meeting him, but are they not both on your social media? I'm guessing she had seen a picture of him before, no? So how did she not know who he was? Or him not knowing who she was when they met clubbing? That part doesn't really make sense. I assume they both interact with you on social media, so at least after they hooked up, they should have known who the other was. OP said, I am not really active on social media. For example, my Facebook wall is almost empty, and on Instagram, I like to share my creations and work more than pictures with people or partying. And it looks like they didn't stalk me that much, which is usually good. Yeah, if you're not posting pictures of your friends, and that would mean that he had to like be actively watching her stuff, but if she's not posting pictures of her friends, you would never really see it. We have an update, and it came 5 days later, August 25th. Okay, so she made like a whole new title to this post. Should I end my relationship with my friend / romantic interest? Did we not already tell you? I met Chris 2 years ago. I fell in love with him at first sight. I could praise him for hours, but that is not the point, so let's skip this part. I was a little bit shy around him at first, so I didn't make a move initially. We met at my workplace and he introduced me to other people. I started to hang out with Chris and the rest of the pack, both at work and outside of it. Most of these people were quite young, under 30 years old, so we were partying whenever we could. After a few weeks, I overcame my shyness and I did try to flirt with Chris, but I think it was already too late. I was already in the friend zone. He rejected my subtle attempts to pick him up. Over the time that we grew even closer and we started to hang out alone, only the two of us, we would go to dinner together, go shopping, or just hang out in front of the TV at his or my place. Looking back at it, I think it was always a substitute for a date for me, but it was never actually the case. During these 2 years, Chris was in and out of romantic relationships many times. On the other hand, I was not involved in anything, mostly because I hoped that we would be together at some point. But last week, I realized that it's going nowhere. It had been 2 years and I did miss my chance. My biggest headache right now is that I think I won't be able to move on as long as we are still friends and we are seeing each other nearly on a daily basis at work. At the same time, I'm heartbroken when I think that I should end our friendship. Our friendship and our time together is still important to me. But like, in 2 years, you've never actually had the conversation with him? Been like, yo, here's my feelings. Like, maybe we should go on a date and see if there's something here, you know? Or maybe he's made it so obvious that she just knows and she's like, nah, like he has very much friend zoned me and shut me down. I don't know. That's tough because if you stay friends with him, you gotta let go of all the rest. But can you stay friends with him? It's not sounding like it because it's been 2 years, babe, and you're holding hope. It's been 2 years. I don't know. You know what? You know who we ask? Savage people of Reddit. Someone said, have you asked him out? I had something like this once. He liked me the whole time as well, but I was in denial. Just ask him out already. OP said, I have never been very direct regarding that topic. At the same time, it is hard to believe that he has not noticed my advances so far. You can shoot your shot. You can like fully shoot your shot if you really want to. Next comment, the same can be said for me and the guy I had the same thing with. He used to sleep in my bed with me and we would cuddle to sleep. What? We went for drives to lookouts over the city and talked for hours in his car. Everyone said he followed me around like a lost puppy. We would binge Harry Potter. We went grocery shopping together. I would cook for him. He'd cook for me. And honestly, we were both just complete idiots. How did we not know that we liked each other? What's the worst that can happen? Well, girl, like that's, you had to have known you liked each other. Listen, cuddling to sleep? I ain't doing that with any of my guy friends. What do you mean? That's crazy. Does that happen? Are you guys out there cuddling with your friends?
Ew, no, David.
Like that? Like to sleep? And having sleepovers and snuggling in their arms? Ugh, gross. The thought of having one of my guy friends in my bed disgusts me. Like, take my relationship out of it, even if I was single. Ugh. Like, don't be in my space, weirdo. Love my guy friends, but like, I don't want to cuddle you. OP wrote back and said, yeah, right now, I don't think it could be any worse. I might try to shoot my shot. I was actually close to doing this a few times, but then I was paralyzed by the fear that I would lose him, especially as a friend. But now I'm thinking about it anyway. You made it sound like you already took the shot and he rejected you. I feel like you gotta rip the band-aid off, tell him how you're feeling, and then figure out where to go from there at this point. With him, with your friendship, with your own feelings. What bug is that? What are you? It's like a little type of fly. How'd you get in here? It's like, not a fly, but like a fruit fly, but a little bigger than a fruit fly. Leave me alone. Remember? Oh my God, what was our fly named last year? Bob? Was his name Bob? I had a fly that every time I filmed, he was here. He loves my space. It's probably because of the lighting, you know, the light. Oh, I forget his name. Well, we'll have to rename this one. What should we name him? Or her? We don't know. We have more updates, but you know what? I need a sip of water. We're gonna cheers to our new friend, whatever we're naming them. Cheers.
I have to clean the condo, but I'm literally just filming this Jaws cam as a distraction to stall from doing that. That's all. So how's your day? I just don't feel like cleaning, and I like cleaning, but I am just not in the mood today for some reason, and it's gotta be done. So tell me about your day.
So the next update came 2 weeks later. It's now September 3rd, 2021. I'm going to confess my feelings to my longtime friend. We have been friends for more than 2 years now, and I've had a crush on him since the very beginning. I was not able to really confess, flirt, or ask him out at the very beginning, so we just became friends. We know all this, girl. I really value friendship, but it is really hard for me now since I have always been looking for something more with him. Lately, I've realized I cannot go any longer. I just have to try. I am really scared of rejection, but I understand now that even that might be beneficial for the long run. So yeah, I've asked him to meet up today. I mean, it is not that weird for us. We are spending time together almost every week. This time will be different. I am ready to confess my feelings and I want to do this. I'm still wondering about the details and how I want to do this, but I have to do this. It is long overdue. I am trying to prepare for this for some kind of public speaking or presentation, but I do not know if it is a good approach. Should I act spontaneously and not plan everything? Is there any good method to overcome anxiety? Oh my gosh. Oh girl, I just can't wait for you to rip off this band-aid. Someone commented and said, yeah, definitely the right thing to do. I wish you well with it. Let us know how it goes. As of how to do it, if you're going for words, simple might be best. Ask if he ever wonders whether you'd make a good couple and go from there. OP said, I was wondering if I should just ask him the thing you mentioned or if I should tell him that I have feelings. But I'm afraid that it would be weird and disturbing for him if I would tell him I have a crush on him for that long. Well, then maybe just ask, oh, have you ever thought about like if we could be more than friends? I don't know. This is out of my expertise because even when I was single, I didn't date. I didn't like date around. I don't do well single. I'd rather just be alone or be in a serious relationship. But then you have to date to get in one, you know? That's why you just slide in the DMs. Like I did. We've reached the final update. Thank goodness. I do want to know how this ends, girl, for her. Like I do. There's still a chance with him, but I'm also wondering what happened with the friend in him. Did they ever, after that other party, like ever again? Anyways, final update came 2 days later. I did confess my feelings eventually, and it looked like my friend shared similar feelings. We agreed to promote our friendship and try this couples thingy, but I almost messed this whole thing up in every possible way. We had dinner, and for a few hours, I was not able to force myself to start this topic at all. We almost parted our ways, but as we were talking in front of the restaurant, we figured out no one had better things to do on Friday evenings this time, so we agreed to spend more time together. We went to 2 other places to drink and dance a little, and me being me, I still was not able to say anything. That was just heartbreaking at this point. I had a last chance. He told me earlier about some projects he was working on, so I asked if I could see it. We went to his place, had one more glass of wine, and we were just chilling for a bit. At one point, we were teasing one another in a playful way and just messing around. He was tickling me and I made him stop, so I pinned him down. I have no idea what I was thinking at the time, but I kissed him. Wow, okay, girl. You really went for it. I immediately panicked and I backed off, and he was like, what was that? I was scared like hell, but I told him that we have this unique bond, and for some time I was feeling like I would like something more, and I asked if he could see us as a couple. He told me that he really appreciates our friendship and trusts me a lot, and then complimented me a little. But the next thing he told me was really earth-shattering. Basically, he didn't think I might be into him romantically. He reminded me about a conversation we had. It was after my last breakup. I said something like, there is no man I'm really attracted to, which was a straight up lie. I was attracted to him, but I couldn't admit it at the time. And because of that, he was never thinking that we could be a couple or anything like that. I told him that it was a stupid thing to say, and I am attracted to him. So yeah, he proposed for us to try this, and we kissed. I felt so happy and relieved, and I started crying a little, but he was really comforting about it. And then one thing led to another, and it was a really great end of the day and all. So long story short, we are meeting again today for a real date. It will be a little bit weird as we already have trust and intimacy from our friendship that is usually built during dating, but it is nice to try it. I cannot wait. I think I have never been this happy. Okay, so girl, when everyone was yelling at you, being like, this man isn't into you, you really made us believe that you took your shot and he rejected you. Let's see what people are saying now. And I guess we're not getting any update on the friend situation. Like, are you guys friends? You and your girl, Vicky? So someone commented and said, so you go to dinner, dancing, wine, tickling each other at his place alone, and he still didn't have the idea that you might be into him because you'd said something about men in general right after a breakup? Ladies, we men need your help. If you are into us, let us know. Even private wine tickling at his place isn't enough to get it through our heads. That is so funny. Next comment, yeah, we are for sure going to remember if you say you're not attracted to anyone. Interesting perspective. OP wrote back and said, it was so stupid I forgot about it the next day. I had no idea he would even remember that. I always thought this kind of relationship we had was quite common for good friends. But right now it looks like at least for some time we had feelings for each other and both of us were thinking the other party is not interested. Oh, we have a question about the girlfriend. Yes. Like Vicky. Now we'll get some info. Someone said, is this the same crush who slept with your best friend a few weeks back? If so, how did things resolve with her? This is what I want to know. Yes, it is. I guess I didn't post an update to this part of the story, but do not blame me. I had no idea anyone would be interested that much. I was only mad at her at day 0, and among others, that was the reason I started venting on Reddit. But I understood I had no claim or anything to Chris 2 weeks ago. So she didn't do anything wrong. I was even ready to back off entirely if they would like a serious relationship, and I talked with Vicky about it. But they told me they are not really interested in anything serious. Well, hey, that worked out well for everybody. I mean, now you've both slept with the same, now like you're dating him knowing your best friend slept with him though. That might be a little awkward, but you know. And she also said it was the best sex of her life. Ooh. Yeah, remember Vicky was like, it was the best I've ever had. And now you're dating the best that your best friend has ever had. Interesting. Couldn't be me. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.